Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into the massive world of Amazon Web Services, specifically for machine learning. We're going to follow the entire journey of data, from just a raw piece of information all the way to a smart, working AI model, and we're doing it all inside the AWS cloud. It's a pretty big question, isn't it? I mean, from the outside, it can definitely look like magic. But today, we're going to pull back that curtain and show you that it's not magic at all. It's actually a really well-defined journey. A journey that always starts with data and, hopefully, ends with some real insight. All right, let's jump right in. Here's the roadmap for our little data adventure. We'll kick things off with the big picture of AWS and machine learning. Then, we'll follow our data as it gets stored, cleaned up, and then used to build the actual intelligence. And finally, we'll see how it gets launched into the real world and why having all these tools in one place is such a game changer. So, first things first, just think of AWS as this giant digital canvas. Not too long ago, if you wanted to do machine learning, you had to build everything from scratch. Now, it's more like a service you can just use, which lets you focus on solving your problem, not on managing a bunch of complex infrastructure. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the AWS philosophy. See, it's all layered. Down at the bottom, you've got the experts who want total control. Then in the middle, you have this managed platform for data scientists who just want to build models without worrying about servers. And way up at the top, you've got simple tools for any developer who just wants to add cool AI features like, say, image recognition into their app. It's all about having the right tool for whatever job you're trying to do. Every single machine learning project, and I mean everyone, starts with data. Usually a lot of data. So our first step has to be finding a safe, secure, and really scalable place to put all of it. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to do. And 9 times out of 10, that foundation is Amazon S3. You can think of it as the internet's hard drive. Seriously, you can store pretty much any amount of data in there, from a tiny text file to petabytes of video. For our data, this is ground zero. But here's the thing, not all data needs to be treated the same. S3 lets you get smart about your costs with these different storage classes. Need your data right now? That's S3 standard. Need it less often, but still pretty fast? That's standard infrequent access. And for those deep, dark archives you rarely touch, you can push it to Glacier. It's incredibly cheap, but yeah, it'll take a bit longer to get back. This isn't just a technical detail. Managing this stuff correctly can save a company a ton of money. It's all about that smart trade-off between speed and cost. Now, while S3 is amazing for just storing files or objects, sometimes your data has a different shape. If you need a super fast hard drive for a virtual server, that's where EBS comes in. And for your more traditional, structured data, like a user database or product catalog, you'd use RDS. It's a managed service that takes care of all the boring database maintenance for you. And this brings up a really core idea in the cloud, resilience. With RDS, sure, you could run your database in just one location, or what AWS calls an availability zone. But for anything important, you choose multi-AZ. What happens then? AWS creates a live, running copy of your database in a completely separate data center. So if the first one goes down for any reason, traffic automatically flips over to the backup. No downtime for you. It's how you build apps that can survive pretty much anything. Okay, so we've got all our raw ingredients stored safely. Now it's time to bring everything into the factory. This is where we're going to clean it, reshape it, and basically transform it into something a machine learning algorithm can actually work with. And let me tell you, this stage is absolutely crucial. It's kind of an open secret in the industry that data prep is almost always the most time-consuming part of an entire ML project. You'll hear that data scientists spend like 80% of their time just cleaning and shaping data. Why? Because it's true. Garbage in, garbage out. So here on our factory floor, AWS gives us a few heavy-duty machines. For most standard data integration jobs, there's AWS Glue. When you're dealing with truly massive data sets, you'll fire up Amazon EMR. And for data that's just constantly streaming in, like from social media feeds or smart devices, you'd use Amazon Kinesis to process it on the fly. Let's zoom in on Glue for just a second, because its secret weapon is something called the Glue Data Catalog. It can actually scan your data in S3, figure out its structure, the columns, the data types, all that, and logs everything in this central searchable library. This makes finding and understanding data across a whole company so much easier. All right, our data is clean, it's prepped, it's ready to go. We have finally arrived at the heart of this whole operation. This is where we take that pristine data and use it to build the brain of our application, the machine learning model itself. And this is where that layered approach we talked about earlier really, really shines.
For a lot of common tasks, you don't even need to build a model yourself. AWS gives you these powerful pre-trained AI services. You can get image analysis with recognition, text-to-speech with Poly, speech-to-text with Transcribe, all with just a simple call to an API. It's like having AI superpowers on demand. Take Amazon Recognition, for instance. Under the hood, it's using these incredibly complex deep learning models that Amazon trained on just unimaginable amounts of data. And you get to use all of that power without having to know the first thing about how a neural network actually works. But what if you have a totally unique problem? Well, for that, there's Amazon SageMaker. This is the main workbench, the central hub for data scientists on AWS. It gives you one place to build, train, and deploy your own custom models. And to get you started faster, it comes packed with a bunch of optimized, built-in algorithms for common tasks like classification, clustering, and even something we're going to look at right now, anomaly detection. So what even is an anomaly? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's the odd one out. It's that one weird transaction in a long list of normal ones. It's the faulty sensor reading in a stream of perfectly healthy data. It's just an observation that doesn't fit the pattern.
So how do you find one? Well, the random cut forest algorithm has this really elegant way of doing it. It builds a whole bunch of random decision trees, and the logic is kind of brilliant. Normal data points are all clumped together, so it takes a lot of cuts to isolate just one. But an anomaly, it's way out there on its own, so it's super easy to isolate. That means it has a much shorter path from the top of the tree to the bottom. It's a really simple but powerful idea for finding that needle in the haystack.
So, we've done it. We've built the brain. It's smart, it's trained, but it's not really doing much good just sitting there on a server. The last critical step is deployment. We've got to get our model out into the world where it can actually start making predictions and providing some real value. It's showtime.
And here is an incredibly powerful and popular way to do just that. Picture this. A user uploads a new photo to one of your S3 buckets. That simple action can automatically trigger an AWS Lambda function, which is just a little bit of code that runs without you managing any servers. That code then calls your SageMaker model, gets a prediction back, and can do whatever you want with it. Save it to a database, send a notification, anything. It's scalable, it's cheap, and it's completely automated. Okay, let's just take a quick step back and look at what we did. We've gone on a complete journey here, from raw data just sitting in S3, through the processing factory with Glue, into the SageMaker lab where we actually built the brain, and finally onto the launchpad with Lambda where we put that intelligence to work. And that right there is the whole point. AWS gives you this integrated set of tools for every single step of the process. All these services are designed to just work together seamlessly, creating this incredibly powerful end-to-end platform. It just gets rid of all the friction and lets you focus on the most important question of all. With all this power at your fingertips, what will you build?